What's up, everyone? There's nobody here yet, but hello, welcome to our live episode of Every Week We Follow. It is our Newcastle versus Aston Villa preview. We were due to have a Newcastle fan on, but unfortunately, we've had the last minute change, so I'm having to go solo. So bear with me because having someone to bounce off on YouTube is usually what we do, but it's just me, and so we're going to be looking at this weekend's fixture, 2:00 kickoff at St James's Park, where we go on and to face Newcastle. Thoughts on this one, really. It's kind of, it's a difficult fixture for sure. We haven't won at St James's Park since 2005, which was in that 3-0 victory where Lee Bowyer and Kieran Dyer started to scrap each other. And it's been a bit of a bogey place for us to go. We lost 3-0 on Boxing Day last year, 5-1 the season before, and Mings did his ACL. So it's not been a happy stomping ground, has it? But after our fantastic result on Thursday night against Fenerbahce, I feel like we can go into the game with a little bit of confidence, and hopefully we can, get there. Who we got? Cole, maybe a Toon fan, is running scared already. Yes, Cole, you're probably right. About time we change the script to St James's Park. Yes, Chris and Ford, I agree completely. So look, hopefully a few more viewers come in, I've got a little bit of a quiz I was going to do with the Newcastle fan that we can probably get going on here, maybe. We'll see what happens. Would you cash in on Martinez now? Also would love to be on one of your videos. Thanks, Sarah. Maybe we should run a competition about that and get people on. We talked about this. Stay tuned for that, Sarah. It could happen. They haven't beaten us. They've battered us up there lately. Yeah, that's part of the problem, Cole. They have battered us, and that is fundamentally why I'm nervous about this game. But took a lot from the performance on Thursday. You know, it looks like, as of going live right now, that the Tammy Abraham deal is going to go through. He is on his way to Bodymore Heath and with a medical apparently booked tomorrow, if rumours are to be believed. I would like to see Leon Bailey on Sunday as well, back in the squad. Not necessarily start, but kind of, give us another option. Hey, Chief, how are you? It's not Mateta. Not Mrs. B is very sad. I remember the 6-0 drubbing when they got promoted. Yeah, there's been some horrific kind of results at St James's Park. So look, it's one of those where if we can turn up, the games have come thick and fast. Like, the only saving grace for me is that Newcastle, after Champions League games, haven't been great, right? So let's see if we can take advantage of that. Now, lots of positives from Thursday. Now, I think Fenerbahce probably underestimated us a little bit and allowed us too much time and space in midfield, because I thought at times Tielemans, Rodgers, Sancho, Buendia all had a lot of joy. Do you know what I mean? And it was kind of, we probably should have won by more. Will Tommy be able to play Sunday if he passes medical? Hopefully he has it tonight. Yeah, so I don't know. I've had a mixed review of that, and we'll find out once once announced. But I think it might be a bit too soon. But it would be great if he can, and even if it's from the bench. The other good news is that Onana is back. Obviously, he got minutes on Thursday, and hopefully he will start. And I feel for Bogard. He won't be registered time, I think. No, I don't think. I hear Mateta was giving his head a buffing for Mrs. B. Yeah. Quite possibly. That might still happen. Unlikely, but it might still happen. He has come out and said he wants to go to a Champions League team or a team that is going to qualify for the Champions League. So let's see what happens there. Look, either way, I think there's going to be business coming in, and I'm going to do a live deadline day transfer thing, because I think some of these are going to go down to the wire. I do. And if that's the case, then we want to report on it, not just from the punditry, but from a fan perspective. So I'm going to be here doing that on 2nd of February. And I'm going to try and do it all day if I can. I think Tammy has been registered by this afternoon in order to... yes, I think you're probably right there, Chris. But we'll have to wait and see, right? So I don't think he will take part on Sunday's game, but, it could be the rocket up Ollie Watkins' arse that he needs to actually start putting the ball in the back of the net. Mrs. B needs a pay cut. if she doesn't persuade Mateta to come. Yeah. I love that, Cole. I love that a lot. That's funny. So, look, on to Sunday's game. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff. Hopefully, you know, I do worry about the Thursday, Sunday games. We've done really well this season to bounce and win all our European, all our games after European fixtures. So we go into this hopefully with a little bit of confidence. I heard a rumour, you know, they still haven't confirmed how long McGinn's going to be out for. We've seen numerous doctors. If that could be better news than expected, I heard last week it was, or at the start of this week, it was going to be 6 to 8 weeks, which would be horrendous. But someone messaged me today and said 2 weeks. But obviously, I don't know how true that is. We'll have to wait and see. He's off to your favourite club, Young Boys. 5 weeks. And then that's too long, isn't it? We can't afford for him to be out for 5 weeks. But it is what it is. So, look, I've thought about this very briefly in terms of how we set up against Newcastle on Sunday. So we're going to go through my starting 11 and hopefully this is what I would do. Obviously, we've got people coming in and Sarah, thank you for the tone. That's really kind. Honestly, every little helps. It all goes back into the channel. Although YouTube do take most of that, if I'm honest. But it keeps us being able to grow. Just a little bit of an update on that. James and I are trying to get sponsors for the podcast. We've got a couple that are potentially interested, and a couple of meetings are ongoing. So just watch this space. But if anyone knows of any company, small businesses local to Birmingham, Aston, that would be interested in sponsoring the pod, we've got a comprehensive package that we can offer. And like obviously, all the money is going to go back into the channel to keep it going, and hopefully just make better content for you guys. So yeah, that's a bit of an advert. Also, if you are new here and you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like button, hype button, hit that QR code. Hopefully won't get banned with this on TikTok, but that ball is part of a combined package to get your hands on if you donate to Acorns. The links are in the bio. Will be in this bio, and it's a Just Giving page, but they'll be up afterwards after we finish the show. And if you can donate, you give a chance of winning that signed football from last year. It's got all the squad on it. So, yeah, just thought I'd get that out of the way. Anyway, back to how we set up against Newcastle. So on Thursday, you know, it was clear that, you know, Rodgers, Watkins, Buendia and Sancho were the ones held responsible for our attacking threat. Now, I thought we had some really good passages of play. And if we can get in between those lines of Newcastle, maybe we can do the same again. But my only concern is how clinical we're going to be in front of goal, right? And it's an interesting one. Agreed, his spirits are high after last night, yeah. I'd play Bizot, whether Emery's fit or not. Yeah, I too. I agree. I would start with Bizot, I think. So anyway, let's get into that. Right. So here we've got my starting lineup. Right. So let me know in the comments what you think about this. Right, because again, I've gone with Bizot in goal. I think he deserves his place after. If Ollie Watkins could start and send the real Ollie to work, it would be a great start. Absolutely, John Cole. So Bizot to keep his place. I would swap out Maatsen for Digne just because of the pace that Newcastle hold on the counter-attack, whether that be Harvey Barnes, Anthony Gordon, Visser. Like, this guy's just got pace to burn. Now, I would love Tyrone Mings to keep his place, but I'm just a bit unsure that he's got the capability of basically playing 2 games in 3-4 days, right? I think that might be a bit much considering that the amount of effort he put in on Thursday. So I think it will be Pau, right? Which again makes sense with Maatsen. Konza, again, Thursday, a chance to rest him. Lindelof was fantastic, but I think Konza just comes straight back into the team. All down to his stamina. That is true. Was it minus his brother or agent was in Milan? I think it was his agent and brother, Sarah, if I'm honest. You know, so for me, while that's ongoing, you know, pictures of him on Instagram, he keeps that thing. We must be clinical in front of goal 5 minutes into the game, and we're all like, Watkins, Yes, West. Look, that's my biggest saying, right? We know that there's a mug you can buy for that, like, but got to try and keep the faith. And then obviously Cash. I just worry that Cash is playing every minute. Like, I don't want him to get injured. I'm so scared of him getting injured. I'm not sure Garcia is the man to kind of fill that void. So maybe Unai's going to work some magic in this window as well for a right back. Brummy Gaz, good evening, Villa family. Yes, we are all here. Keep it rocking, keep it knocking. We're on TikTok Live too. They're getting the behind the scenes footage. I need to charge for this in the future. Anyway, into midfield, here we go. We've got, obviously, I think Onana. This is no disrespect to Bogard. I thought he was pretty good on Thursday. But I think that physical presence that Onana brings against the likes of Joe Linton is important. Tielemans, regardless of what the media are saying about that push and thing, obviously was one of our best players on Thursday. I thought he was fantastic. He's going to be crucial in this, but that partnership works for me. And then obviously that front four that we talked about, which I think we stick as it is. And then when the likes of Bailey and Gassond on the bench to come on, and maybe do something a little bit different. But big game, because as Weston, you're saying there, do we want to get to 5 minutes in and we'll be screaming, Watkins? Right? Because let's be honest, we need to score more goals, right? Hopefully now this addition of Tammy will give us a different option. He's got to hit the ground running. I hope the fact that he knows Villa so well that he will. But yeah, this is going to be another one of those games where I don't know how we're going to manage Newcastle's threat. Like, I haven't got a lineup for Newcastle. I wish I did a little bit more research, but this was a last-minute thing, so I was hoping that the Newcastle fan would join us. But it hasn't happened. But we know what their threats are. We know that the likes of Wissa starting, Harvey Barnes, Walter-Meada, Joe Linton, Tonali in the middle. Bruno Guimaraes looks like he might be out, but could play some part to it. From what I think, Newcastle pose a definite threat at home. Ari Martinez, he served us well for a few years, and I think he's suffering from some kind of concentration awareness. Should we sell him and we can get decent money for him? Yeah, I think we probably should, because I think he's going to go in the summer. The fact that it was rumoured last summer, I think that's going to happen, and that's why Bizot gets his place on Sunday. And now with the arrival of Tammy Abraham, I'm hoping that Watkins, and he hasn't historically done this, whenever he's had competition with that, with Duran, Marlon, Danny Ings. I mean, he's outlived all these people, right? Rashford, whatever, But obviously, Rashford I think, is a better player than Watkins and ousting him out. He didn't respond well to it. I just hope that the arrival of Tammy can read the rocket that makes him fire on all cylinders and get to that 20 goals he's been promising us. Bruno out, maybe. Yeah, that's what I've heard, Cole. Definitely maybe, right? So yeah, this is what I'm going to go for. Hopefully, we can recover well over the next few days, and we can go up to Newcastle and get a result. Look, if we could I didn't think we'd win the game yesterday, and we did, and we played some lovely stuff. Newcastle, like I said, don't really or haven't done well after Champions League games this season. So we'll see what happens. Martinez is very stupid at injury, then goes abroad with the ski and just doesn't look injured to me. Yeah, look, Sarah, I think you're right. It's frustrating, and hopefully why Emery will stick with Bizot, and we'll see what happens. So let's just in Emery we trust, right? He's got the capability. So I'm not gonna go too much into the Martinez thing. I think it's frustrating. I think that he hasn't, apart from to say that, I don't think he's been himself since the speculation at the start of the season, and he's performed pretty well on a whole. But obviously, he's made a few mistakes recently. But he hasn't been his usual shithousery self, which is what he used. That personality has seemed to just crept out of the dressing room, and I'm like, that's a bit frustrating. But it is what it is. In Unai, we trust absolutely, Sarah. Couldn't agree more. Luckily, if Pau starts thinks there's a lot of attacks will be crosses, etc. So Pau can manage those as he struggles with players. 100% Cole. We need that midfield to kind of protect him. Look, Kamara's a massive miss, man. I'm still not over that. It's devastation that we've lost him for the season. I'm really, I've said this numerous times, losing him significantly weakens us. He's the one player when he's not in our team that we look weaker. And so, yeah, disappointing. But we've just got to take it on the chin. Like I say, Anana's back. Let's hope he can stay fit. That is crucial that he stays fit. He absolutely has to stay fit. Like, he has to. He's had his up already in France. Yeah, and that's where he'll probably recover for the rest of the season. He put a message out on Instagram to kind of say, this is what we're doing. What is his actual injury? Now, that is a good question, Chris, because it hasn't been specified as to what it is, apart from that it's his knee. But it needs operating on. And it was such an innocuous challenge as well. Like, it didn't look that bad. I thought he went off with a dead leg more than anything. But obviously, he's either landed awkwardly or whatever and done some real damage to it because it needs an up. So, yeah, frustrating, but, it is what it is. We'll just have to kind of push on and see what happens. Right. We've got 1 second. Let me just... Right. Let me half this for a second because we need... where's my notes? There we go. Half and half. Okay, people. And we've got knee ligaments, I heard. Well, it could be one knee ligaments. So, look, we were due to have the Newcastle fella on, right? And what we usually do with a guest on, is have a hat-trick quiz. Right, now this is Newcastle Villa related, so let's see what your knowledge is like, people. I'm going to ask one question. We've got the hat-trick quiz forms of this. We have an easy question, we have a medium question, we have a hard question, and then we have a bonus question at the end to try and score your hat-trick. So the first question is the tapping, simple tapping. Second question is the 30-yard curler from the edge of the box. Third, question 3 is the Thunder Bastard, which is the hard question, and then question 4 is the VAR round, which you get to answer. And I'll choose one answer from the comments, and you can let me know how you get on in the comments, okay? But usually this would have been, like I say, an opposing fan doing this. So let's see if we can get it up. So if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on TikTok, make sure you hit that follow button. We're on the road to 6,600 followers on TikTok, and we're on the road to 2K here. And like I say, any help supporting the channel is massively appreciated. If you know anyone that would like to sponsor the channel, we've got a package that we're working on. Let me know in the comments. Drop me a DM on TikTok. We can kind of get something going, I promise. Anyway, on to the hat-trick quiz. Here it is. This was the lovely John who was supposed to be on, but he didn't show, and that was unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, so we'll go on to question 1. I'm just going to read it out, and like I say, let me know in the comments if you go these questions. Are we ready? Can I get a yes in the comments if we're ready for the hat-trick quiz? You know you want to do that. There we go. Cole's ready. Okay, so Cole, this one's you. This is the tapping. It's nice and easy, this one, so you'll get this one. What was the score in the opening day fixture between Newcastle and Villa at St James's Park in August 2023? Right. That's the tapping. Right. If you're struggling with it, I have got multiple choices. I don't mind helping people out. But if you can get it straight off the bat, then you win. The harder ones, you might need multiple choice. So question again, what was the score in the opening day fixture between Newcastle United and Aston Villa at St James's Park in August 2023? Let me know your answers in the comments right now. Go. And you can play along on TikTok too. The questions are there. So again, this is the tapping part of the hat-trick quiz. Question 1 is the easy question. Point to Western. Cole, that was right. It was indeed 5-1. That was the answer to question 1, which was, what was the score in the opening day fixture between Newcastle United and Aston Villa at St James's Park in August 2023? We got battered 5-1. We did get back to 1-1, Cole. I think Moussa Diaby scored that goal, and then we capitulated, and Tyrone Mings got injured the week after Emi Buendia, and it looked like it was going to be terrible, but we managed to kind of salvage our season. Anyway, on to question 2, which is the medium question, which is the 30-yard curler into the top corner. All right. Here we go. In 2018, right? This is more Villa related, and you'll get this straight away. What vegetable was thrown at the then Aston Villa manager Steve Bruce by a disgruntled fan during the match? Now, this probably would have been a medium question for the Newcastle fan. Villa fans, you should get this straight. Yeah, Chris was straight in there. Cole, then bang, bang, bang. Cabbage head. That was probably should have been the easy question for you guys. But that would have been maybe a little bit harder for the Newcastle fan. Absolutely bang on the money. It was a cabbage. Right, so Weston, you're up for 2 and 2. So this is your hat-trick question. But Cole, you need to get this if you want to go for the bonus question. This is again, I expect you Villa fans to get this. I was unsure if the Newcastle fan would get it. Classic moment. You've got to love it. We've had some classic moments at Villa Park. That was one of them. Most people throw their season ticket holders. And okay, question 3, the hard one. Right, here we go. This is the Thunder Bastard from 40 yards out. Right. So Weston, this is for your hat-trick question. Here we go. You were right behind the thrower. No, hey Chris, see, great memories, right? Great memories. Okay, question 3, the hard one. Name 2 players that have played both for Newcastle and Aston Villa in the Premier League era. So that's name 2 players that have played for both Newcastle and Aston Villa in the Premier League era. And again, if you're playing along on TikTok, you can let us know the answer to that question too. Milner, Ramsey, yep, spot on, Weston, you could take that. Any others? The French guy with long hair. I'm going to go David Ginola. But I think I know who you mean, Cole. That's one. So Weston scored his hat-trick. I've got to get little hat-trick badges made up. Nailed it. But again, as a Villa fan, I expected you to get these. We have got a bonus question. That's the one. And David Ginola. Solano, yes, Chris. No, Solano is another one. We've got the bonus question for Cole because coming up as well. So Weston scores his hat trick. Right, let's move on to the bonus question. And this is another player one. So there's quite a few. Weston, there are quite a few. There's others you could have had. Shay Given. Fabian Delph, apparently, has played for Newcastle, by all accounts. Kieran Clark and Darren Bent, by all accounts. Did Darren Bent play for Newcastle? I don't remember that, but apparently that is true. Let me know if I'm completely wrong in the answer there. Anyway, the bonus question, the VAR round. Cole, this one's for you. And if you've been paying attention, you should absolutely get this, right? Did Walker play for Toon on loan? That's a good question. Let me know in the comments. Right, this is the bonus question then, Cole. Name the player who played for both Newcastle and Villa and is known for his incredible longevity, appearing in over 100 matches for each club. This is the bonus question. So again, name the player who played for both Newcastle United and Aston Villa and is known for his incredible longevity, appearing in over 100 matches for each club. Name that player. Cole smashes his hat-trick. It is James Milner. What a guy. Still playing now. He's still at Brighton, 42 years old. Absolutely smashing it. So well done to Carl and Weston. Both got hat-tricks. Well done to Chris as well. Thanks for playing along. It's a short and sweet one. That was supposed to challenge the Newcastle fan. Obviously, he didn't turn up. So that's his loss. We'll take it from there. We'll go back to being full screen. Everyone's a winner. Welcome back. So yeah, that's that. We then now move on to what would have been our score predictions for Sunday's game. So in the comments, let me know a few score predictions, and I'll get onto mine. Drop them now. What do we think? Because easy. It was easy for a Villa fan, I think. It's only supposed to be a bit of fun. It breaks up the show. Weston's going 2-2. Goal scorers, who's going to score in that 2-2-1? So we got a 2-2-1. That sounded like I said I've got a 2-2-1. That's a bit weird. 3-1 Villa. Okay, George, we'll take 3-1. Okay, because 3-1. My heart 2-1 Villa, but head 2-1 Toon. Oh, yes, Cole, this is the thing. My head, I'm going to go 1-1. My head goes for And my heart, this is a tough game for us, and because we just our poor record, I'm going to go sneakily 1-0, just like we did against Fenerbahce. If we can do the same, I just don't think our firepower is quite there in the final third. But nick a goal, I'd average it and go 1-1. Well, don't forget, while you're all here, if you haven't, you can sign up to Every Week We Predict. That is live now. It's at everyweekwepredict.com. There will be a link in the description after this video ends. It's on all our other videos. Go and check that out and put your things. I know we're halfway through the season, but there's still plenty of time to catch up. Carl is currently at the top of the leaderboard, but we've got about 16 people playing. It's all to play for. You get 3 points for the correct score. You get 1 point if you correct the right result, and you get 0 points if you get it wrong. And it's just a bit of fun. 5K prize money, Gary said. He did not, Carl. We're playing for free of charge at the moment. There will be a small cash prize. Obviously, if this goes well this season, we are looking at doing it again next season, probably behind hopefully some sponsorship or subscription package where we can get you a bigger prize fund. It's just a bit of fun, but it's like Super Six, but purely just with Villa results, and hopefully all you Villa fans can get behind it and support it. So yeah. What you get if you get minutes scored. Oh, it's a bonus point as well. So a bonus point if you get, thank you, Cole. If you predict the correct minute of the goal, you get a bonus point. So there are 4 points up for grabs for each game. So if you get lucky, you could still challenge Cole at the top of the table. Going Watkins, Tillemans, Konza to score. Interesting. 3-0. Chris, I love the confidence, mate. I wish I could be that confident. I just think after a European game, with still depleted, really, players coming back, might take a couple of games to get them up to scratch again. But we do know that they know what's required of them. So hopefully should get 5 points for that. There's 9 to choose from. Wow. Cole, we'll take your suggestion. I'll suggest it to James. You know what he's like. He's a stickler. He designed this. It's all James's thing. And no James tonight because his son's not very well. So this is why I'm having to go solo to do this Newcastle review. And look, this is a game where I'm not that it's a free hit, but it's one where we can not be too hard on us if we do lose. Right? I think we've got winnable fixtures coming up after this, and if we can get something from those, then you're absolutely living the dream, right? It's just can we do it? In fact, let's have a look at the fixtures, and I can't get these up on screen, unfortunately. This is where James usually kicks butt at the technical side of stuff, and I'm just here minding my own business, right? Or maybe I can. No, I can't. No, I can't. Anyway, right, let's have a look at the fixtures. So, obviously, Newcastle away, tough one. Then we've got, obviously, Salzburg at home. By the way, people, if you go into the following game after that, it's then Brentford. If you go into the Brentford game, I will be dressed as a full kit or anchor because as a lovely bet on TikTok Live, someone said if you get to 5,000 followers, this was at the Nottingham Forest game at the beginning of the month, I was at 4,400 and actually we hit that target. So I will be in full kit wanker. There's going to be full video of it and whatever. We're going to make a little bit of a story of it. We've got a Brentford fan who's part of Finalysis, which is down here. Go and check that out. Who's coming on and we're going to do some filming together. It should be a good laugh. Just a bit of fun. But yeah, if you want to see a fully grown man in full kit, then that's the one to do. 10k and an Aston streak at the Liverpool game. If I get to 10k by that Liverpool game, yeah, well, no, I'm not doing that. I had a thought about that. I don't want to get banned for life. Never look too far ahead, one game at a time. Absolutely, mate. That's all we can do. But we're just looking at, like I say, the Newcastle game is a tough away fixture. A lot of travelling involved for the Villa faithful and for the players. So, let's not expect too anything. It's these following games: Brentford at home, Bournemouth away, Brighton at home, Newcastle in the FA Cup, then Leeds and Wolves. So, the home games there, the Brentford game, the Brighton game and the Leeds game and the Wolves game, really, we win those. We're still right in it, and challenging for it. It's just whether we can do that. And I think most of us have got like full. Cole, now you're just making horrible suggestions. Dressing full Blues kit for 10k. Would anyone want to see that on a Villa channel? I don't know. So you go, up the fucking Villa. Yes, let's get there. Maybe. Let's talk about this in more detail on TikTok shortly when this episode ends. So look, it's all to play for. We've got those fixtures coming up. Newcastle on Sunday is going to be a tough game. We know that. I'm going to go 1-1. That's my head result. Hopefully no more injuries. If we can avoid any injuries, we've got players coming back into the squad. You know, Tammy Abraham looks like it's a done deal. Doesn't look like he's going to be in time. But it is what it is. We'll take it for whatever we can get. And if we can get a draw, I'd be happy with that draw. But if we can win it, oh my days. Like, you know, I know we've got to take one game at a time, but that belief starts to come in. No way, I'd be sick and end up in hospital. Yeah, exactly. So like, I've never, ever wore a Blues thing, I don't think. Not on that anyone knows of anyway. So I'm a little bit about that. But, you know, that's the road to 10K on TikTok. That's the journey. Buy the Liverpool game, which is on the 17th of May, which is the week before I go on holiday, right? So that'll be a way to spread it. So thoughts and suggestions, actually drop them in the comments. You can do it after the game as well. If you're on TikTok, what can I do for when I get to 10K? We've got to keep it clean. This is no Black Mirror episode where I'm doing anything dodgy, right? So just let me know. 18 points. Look, we take it all day long. There's winnable fixtures there. Look, it's all about keeping our heads now and keeping people fit. You know, it's been a wobble and Emery looks stressed about it. So let's just hope that we can steady the ship. And this game is huge on Sunday. Get a result there. And I just, you know, who knows what can happen. Like I say, let's not get too carried away. Let's just take one game at a time. But it's difficult when you're kind of, you know, buzzing about where you are. The belief is there, but when we lose our focus, we lose like we did against Everton. Yeah, 100%, mate. And that's my worry. But Emery's very good at resetting it, I think. And I'm hoping that the Everton game was just the one-off. You know, McGinn going off in that Everton game was massive. It really was. We lost our heart and soul. And actually, Mings coming back yesterday, I thought he does exactly what McGinn does. He's that leader. He's that guy that can galvanise you. You know, he literally, the way he bossed Duran yesterday was absolutely superb, and I think it got us all up for it. So that's a positive. And I know he might not play on Sunday, but just to have him back in the squad and that possibility of doing that, it goes a long way. Now, guys, you can't be doing that, mate. And no Villa fans suggested it, to be honest. Yes, thank you, Weston. But I'm very dubious about that one. We did enough for Everton to win, just couldn't put the ball in the net. Yeah, that's true. And the goal was absolutely comical, but that's what you say, lose that focus. It's about taking those next steps to get into the next level, right? We need to be more clinical in front of goal. We know that. Hopefully the arrival of Tammy can put that rocket at Watkins' arse to put the ball in the back of the net. You know, we've got Rodgers, Buendia, Sancho. You know, if these can all chip in with goals, they could be pivotal players that get us over the line. So look, in Emery we trust. We go away to St James's Park, 2 tough away fixtures in the space of 4 days. Like I said, lots of travelling for the lads. It's a tough one, but we'll just see how it goes. Now, look, get behind them. Join me on Sunday for a live watch along, probably just on TikTok this time, and we'll pick it apart as it goes. Thank you for watching. Right, if you can, hit that subscribe button, like, hype, all that jazz. Hit that QR code and donate to Acorns if you can. We're raising, hopefully to raise £1,000 for that ball. Lots of people have already done it. You're in the hat for the draw. We're going to have a charity night, hopefully towards the end of the season. I'm trying to sort that out as we speak. I know we'll keep you updated with that in the next couple of weeks. Can we win the league realistically? I think it's probably a bit out of our reach. I'm not saying, you say realistically, I don't think we can. I just think we're not clinical enough to get over the line. I'll do it again when we get paid. Thanks, Cole. There's no pressure on you, mate. You've already donated. I've got more, but the more you donate, the more entries you get, and the more chance you've got of winning the merchandise. So I suppose there is that. Yeah, we'll be back on maybe Sunday evening with a live kind of analysis of the game. If not, it will be part of our Monday morning weekly thought show. So join us both for that. I will be live throughout the weekend, obviously. So make sure you tune into TikTok for that. Like I say, hit the like and follow button, hit the share button, donate if you can. We appreciate all the support massively, James and I. It's been such a roller coaster of a ride starting the channel. We've only been going just over a year. we're trying to get traction on it. Obviously, we know there's loads of competition. We're trying to bring that authentic fan feel. You'll only ever get honest opinions. We're not in the know. We haven't got connections. We're not trying to do that. Both of James and I are part of the Finalysis, which is an app that is powered by Sky. We've both been on Villa Park, Sky Sports. Oh, Sarah's got a good suggestion. Absal off Villa Park. If you hit 10k, of course, get permission. That's not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout because they do that anyway. And maybe if they allow me to raise some money for Acorns, we can put that in together. I don't know, Sarah. Well, I'm going to inquire about that. That's not a bad shout. Let's get to that 10k. People, get behind me. So yeah, that's it for now. I've rambled on for 35 minutes. It's not our usual preview, but I'm going to this game a little bit more optimistic than I did before Thursday. I didn't think we'd get a result in Fenerbahce, which could have led into this. But the fact that we won, hopefully, breeds a little bit of confidence in going into that Newcastle game with a bit more belief and with some more strings to the bow, with Bailey coming back, signing Tammy. So let's keep the faith. Join me on Sunday for the watch along, and I'll see you on the next one. And as always, every week we follow the boys in claret and blue. I just read that guy's broke. That one bloke who done that at Villa Park lost his leg. Yeah, that's a good point. We'll get into it. Anyway, if you want to continue the chat, another few minutes on TikTok, come and join me on TikTok. I'll see you on the other side. Bye, people.